Hi, I'm Shay, and this is a commentary. There's a sentence I've heard and said over the past 3 years, and while at one point it was true, it can't be anymore. Fortnite is too sweaty is something people have been saying since the beginning of Chapter 2, and while back then it was true, it very quickly became not the case. Let's start with the first group of people, the sweats. The skill ceiling had rose at an alarming rate during Season 7 through 10 because of the release of Creative. Now, all of a sudden, you have people with super fast edits and the ability to build the Twin Towers in 2 seconds because of the common practice that is 90s. And then high ground retakes became popular because of people like FaZe Sway, so people that wanted to get better went to go practice those to look cool. Later, in Chapter 2 Season 1, and around January to late February, the skill ceiling had again jumped massively, because people were mainly playing creative as no new content was being released in BR, and for most people, playing build fights and box fights was their main time wasters. They were naturally going to improve, and with that, the skill ceiling rises along with the average skill of a player. Then the game changed. While peace control had been a concept understood by very few at the time, being so simple as coning someone was good peace control, there were some people who understood how piecing someone could be important to a fight. At the time, a YouTuber you probably know by the name of It's Jarian made mostly tutorial and tip videos. He saw what was happening with these higher skill players and broke it down and popularized peace control, in which I also believe he coined the term. Fast forward a bit, different methods to peace control, right hand peaks, and getting faster, yada yada yada, and now it's about mid to late 2021. A lot of older players had kind of stopped playing the game because the rise in the skill ceiling, and people kept improving, so when these people would come back to the game in a season launch or something of the sort, they'd get smacked around by what they call sweats. But let's look at the other POV. In Season 7 through 10, there were a lot of people who had tried to improve but were more focused on having fun in pubs, like myself. At the time, we were all left behind, and I'm not dissing the people who didn't take the time to do something like that, because again, I was one of those people. It's just a fact that plays into this sentiment. In my case, in January, I left BR to play mostly Save the World until Season 3 of Chapter 2. But when I had come back, having not improved and going against people who were just learning peace control and had already known different retakes, my 90s and the lack of ability to even do a double edit wasn't gonna do much, so I stopped playing the game because there were too many sweats, which wasn't true. At that point, the skill I had, and most players who were saying that, was far below average, and any chance of us being called good again at that skill level were long gone. Most people that have this sentiment came back with Fortnite OG, and maybe after a week they came to a realization that nothing had really changed, and people were still, and I quote from my cousin, sweaty little no-life nerds. I came back as well after not playing since the beginning of Chapter 4, and my realization was this video. I was left behind, and if I wanted to keep playing this game, which I do because I've always enjoyed it, I'd have to strive to improve. I needed to try to become a better player in order to, at the very least, catch up with the new average, because my old Season 7 mechs weren't going to do anything against someone who had been playing even a little bit more than I have the whole time. And that's just the truth. And so, in conclusion, most people you've fought in-game aren't sweats and probably aren't even above average. It's just you got left behind to silk and seethe because people became better than you. In layman's terms, skill issue, get good. Anyways, if you guys like Fortnite and do enjoy the basics of its gameplay, I highly recommend you try to improve. Trust me, it's worth it, and I'm definitely a better player than I was since the beginning of Season OG. And I'm happy I decided to try and improve because I can actually enjoy the game and don't die in 85% of my fights. In any case, I hope you guys enjoyed and were able to take away something from this video. If you did, and only if you did, full piece that subscribe button and one pump it to make it gray. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.